Today, it is my mission to discover the best pizza at Walt Disney World. We'll be traveling to all 4 parks, Disney Springs, and 2 resorts to try 10 different slices, some of which will be a massive disappointment, while others will be shockingly good. Who has the best pizza at Disney World? We're about to find out. Before we get into this pizza challenge, I need everyone to leave me a comment down below and let me know what your favorite pizza at Disney World is. And also, if you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more honest Disney food reviews just like this one. Now, let's eat some pizza starting right here in Magic Kingdom at Pinocchio's Village House. Here at Pinocchio's, they have the gourmet cheese flatbread. This is a flatbread topped with tomato sauce and our gourmet blend of mozzarella, provolone, and Parmesan for $12.79. And let me just say, this is an absolutely awful value. For almost $13, you don't get a side, a drink, nothing. First bite of a very, very long pizza-filled day. This pizza is like cracker thin, and for being so thin, you would think it would be a little bit crispier than it is, but it's honestly kind of soggy. It still holds its shape though. It doesn't like kind of sag down at all. I could use a little bit more sauce on here. The cheese is okay, and I will say, it is better than most like frozen pizzas that you would get from a grocery store. Not awful, but for Magic Kingdom quick service food, I do end up getting this flatbread quite often. Typically the kids meal, because I feel like it's a little bit of a better deal. You get half a flatbread, a drink, and 2 sides. Never really get the adult one because it is a horrible value, like I mentioned. It's just nothing special. But it's also not, you know, awful. I wish this was crispier. If this was crispier, we'd be in business here. In my opinion, it's just, you know, a pretty average flatbread. Well, we have made our way to Disney Springs, where right behind me is a little place called Pizza Ponte. It's kind of hidden right attached to Marie and Enzo's, and they're serving up some gigantic slices. Let's head inside and check it out. Pizza Ponte is a Sicilian-style quick-service restaurant serving up, you guessed it, pizza and a bunch of other things, including some really good chicken parm sandwiches. But for the sake of today's video, we are just going with the plain cheese pizza slice, also known as the Big Roman. They are making these pizzas fresh, and I really appreciate that they allow you to see into the kitchen here. And I do have to say, this is probably, I think, the biggest slice of pizza that we will see all day. So big, in fact, that it is taking up 2 plates. We do have a little bit of a bad sign though. This pizza looks to be so incredibly greasy. There is grease just dripping down, which is one of the reasons I don't like pepperoni pizza, because I feel like it adds just so much unnecessary grease to the pie that I just typically prefer just a plain old cheese slice. But this is so greasy, it's like almost just as greasy as a typical pepperoni slice that you would get somewhere. And I could already tell the tip of this pizza is pretty much stuck to the plate. It is so thin and floppy. And I do not like a floppy pizza. We are definitely going to have to fold this one to eat it. Okay. I see you, Pizza Ponte. In terms of quality of pizza, I'm not sure if this one is going to be beat. It is for sure a delicious slice. Little floppy, super thin, which is probably causing all of that flop. But once you get past the tip of the pizza, flop no more. You can see the grease kind of dripping. Again, a little less grease, a little less oil would definitely be helpful. It is all kind of, there goes a drop right now. It is all kind of coming out of the pizza, but it is still a really good slice. Let's go for the crust bite. Whoa, that crust is insane. The crust here itself reminds me quite a bit of typical New Jersey, New York style pizza. It's reminding me of home just a little bit. It's kind of like the same amount of thickness here in the crust. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this is honestly just how I like my crust, and the flavor is out of bounds. I will admit I was skeptical because of all the grease that I saw and the floppiness of the front of the pizza there, but this is shaping out to be really good. I'm gonna have to come to Pizza Ponte a little more often for this. Next up on our list is our first stop here in Epcot, and this is probably going to be the consensus for everyone's favorite pizza at Disney World. Probably the #1 spot to go for pizza if you're coming to Disney World. And of course, I'm talking about Via Napoli here in the Italy Pavilion in Epcot. We'll take a look over the menu here, specifically the pizzas. I already know exactly what I'm getting since I'm just eating like plain pizzas today. To keep everything fair, I am going to just be getting the margarita pizza for a whopping $21. That's the smallest size. You can get the individual 12-inch pie, but they also have a couple of other ones. My favorite here is the carciofi. It's a white pizza with artichoke, fontina, mozzarella, and truffle oil. That is my go-to pizza here. But for the sake of the challenge, we're just going plain margarita. This margarita pizza, of course, has tomato sauce, mozzarella, and basil for, like I said, $21. The cheese is already kind of sliding off. It is just flopping down like crazy. It definitely needs a fold to be eaten. I know you guys really love this pizza. Like I said, it's just not for me. If you're gonna have a crust that's that thin, for me, it's gotta be crisp. And here at Via Napoli, that is not the case. I will tell you the mozzarella cheese tastes extremely fresh. I do think there is a bit too much tomato sauce on this. I do like the slight charring on the undercarriage, on the crust there. The crust does taste very fresh as well. It's just, it's too much liquid, not enough sturdiness of the crust. Go ahead, attack me in the comments for my opinion on Via Napoli. I already know that it's coming. This place is either you love it or you hate it. And unfortunately, I don't love it. But I will say, I think the pizza here is at least better than the pasta. Last time I came with my friend and we ordered just about every single pasta on the menu and like meat dish, and it was all, let's just say the fettuccine Alfredo tasted like pastaroni, like a box of pastaroni. So the pizza's better. That's my one nice compliment for it. But I'm sorry, guys. It's just not my go-to restaurant here in the World Showcase or here in Epcot or whenever I want pizza in Disney World. We're not leaving the Italy Pavilion just yet because right next door to Via Napoli, there's another place to get a completely different pizza. That is right, the pizza window in Italy is open. It's pretty much been open all summer with there being no food festival, but with Food and Wine starting very soon, I expect this to close very soon. But for now, it's open, and this is another pizza on our list, so let's go get it. I honestly cannot even tell you the last time that I had pizza from the pizza window because, like I said, it is almost never open. So I'm excited to try this, and it looks a lot better than I remember it looking or being. And of course, I got the classic margarita plain cheese slice. I will say, I'm also pretty impressed by the flop here. There is a little bit in the center. That's because there is so much cheese. This looks to be insanely cheesy here, but it's not as bad as I had expected, honestly, with the flop. Let's try a bite. Wow, that is so much cheese. Like, would you guys just look at how thick that layer of cheese is? And the cheese is making it kind of pretty oily. But it also, I kind of enjoy this amount of cheese here. Let's go for a crust bite. I cannot believe I am saying this. It needs to go down in history. But for the first time ever, I am thoroughly enjoying a slice of pizza from the walk-up window in Italy. The crust is kind of just the right amount of like thickness for a grandma-style pizza for me. It's kind of close to a Sicilian in terms of the thickness of the crust, but it's very, very tasty. The crust itself is super crispy and overall just light and airy. And there is just a monstrous amount of cheese on this, but this kind of works for this style of pizza. Now, I have heard a rumor that they're kind of using the focaccia bread that they serve in Via Napoli as an appetizer for this pizza here, and I definitely say that's probably true. So the pizza at the window is totally different from the pizza at Via Napoli, and I I like it better than Via Napoli. Well, it is time for our final pizza in Epcot. They are making the pizzas here in Connections fresh, which is very rare for a quick service restaurant in a park. And I have a little hack for you guys as well. You can get the cheese pizza off the regular menu. You get 2 slices for $11.29. But what I like to do to save a little bit of money is get the cheese pizza from the kids menu, which costs you $7.79. You get 1 slice, 2 sides, and a drink. That's a bargain if you ask me. And we are not just talking about like a small piece of pizza. This slice is nearly the size of my head. And for how big and thin this slice of pizza is, it shockingly holds its shape very well and isn't as floppy as you would expect. We've got our nice little bubbles on there. We've got some overbaked cheese on the bottom, a nice well done crust. Let's go for it. There is plenty of cheese on this pizza. There's not too much sauce. I could actually go for a little bit more sauce. The sauce, I think, is this pizza's weakness. It doesn't taste the greatest, but it doesn't taste bad either. Crust action. That is that crispy crust I'm looking for. This pizza also has a pretty solid garlic flavor. And at less than $8 for a slice, 2 sides, and a drink, I mean, even if we're just judging this pizza alone, it is certainly a winner. And I stand on my statement. This pizza at Connections at a quick service restaurant is better than Via Napoli. Maybe it's just because I prefer this style rather than like the Neapolitan style. But next up on our list is a stop that I think a lot of you are gonna say is your favorite, the Boardwalk Pizza Window. Now they are keeping things pretty simple at the pizza window. You could either get a super slice of pepperoni pizza, a super slice of cheese pizza, or I believe a whole pie. But the best part about the pizza window is that it stays open late night till midnight, I believe, which is perfect because there is some nightlife here on the Boardwalk. So after a couple hours at the dance hall or Jelly Rolls, come on over to the pizza window and grab yourself a slice. Or if you're heading over after Epcot, a lot of people like to walk by and grab a slice then. Now nearly $10 for a singular slice of pizza is quite insane, I will admit. But I'll give it to them. It's a bigger slice. This is definitely at least like two slices combined in one. Now I really love when pizza has bubbles in it, and this pizza has a ton of bubbles in it. There's one right there, one right there, all up in the crust. This looks really good. We'll go for the classic New York fold. I'll tell you guys what, Boardwalk pizza is growing on me. I never used to like it, and I don't know if they like changed it up in any way, because the last few times I've had it, it's actually been really good, and that's no different here today. I think this pizza has the absolute perfect sauce to cheese to crust ratio. I love the size of the crust here. It's just thin enough so it's slightly crispy, it's not super soggy, and the amount of cheese and tomato sauce for the crust it's just the perfect amount here. And the crust is really what sets this pizza apart, I believe. The crust here is delicious. You can tell it's baked in a fresh oven. I don't know, guys, Boardwalk Pizza Window is gonna be getting a pretty high score. Well, we have made it to Animal Kingdom, where we are actually going to be getting our next 2 pizzas. Animal Kingdom is home to some of my favorite foods at Disney World. And if you asked me a week ago, before I tried all these pizzas back to back, and continuing on, what my favorite pizza was at Disney World, I would have told you it's right here in Animal Kingdom at Terra Treats. Now, who knows, there might be a shakeup because of all of the pizzas that I've tried today, but our next stop is going to be at Terra Treats. Now, this is a very unsuspecting little stand. It actually used to be a stand that sold allergy-friendly foods up until a couple of years ago, where they started selling pizza. It's actually located right across from Starbucks, right before the bridge into Africa. And it's a spot that I'm sure a lot of you guys have walked by before and had no idea they served pizza. So I have got myself the tomato and cheese slice for $6.79. Let's try it out. What I love about this pizza is that it's like a hybrid between a grandma style pizza and a Sicilian style pizza. Grandma style pizza is actually my favorite kind of style of pizza. And if you don't know what grandma pizza is, it's kind of like Sicilian, but a little bit thinner. So instead of that thick Sicilian crust, it's just a little bit thinner, which makes it a little bit crispier as well. The crust here is crisp. It tastes almost like a fresh focaccia dough. The sauce here, I think, is probably one of the best pizza sauces at Disney World. It's just super sweet, great amount of cheese. It's a really, really good slice. You can tell that this pizza has been handmade, and another thing that I really enjoy about it is how the cheese kind of oozes out of the crust and almost gets a little bit fried. So you have those like crispy bits of cheese. And while we're talking about cheese, I also think they're using maybe some provolone on here. It has a really nice, sharp cheese flavor, which I enjoy a lot. Overall, this is just a fantastic slice of pizza, and it's in such an unsuspecting place. Who knew you could find such great pizza here in Animal Kingdom? But I tell you, you guys got to try this out. Now, we are only judging plain cheese pizzas today, but I do want to give a special shout out to the specialty slice that Terra Treats now used to have. Usually they kind of switch up. They have this specialty slice at Terra Treats. They were really good, like a barbecue pork one. Currently, I believe it's a buffalo chicken slice, but just in the last couple of weeks, they've actually changed the location of said specialty slice from Terra Treats, and they actually moved it over to our next stop, which is going to be at Pizzafari. But if you get a chance, check out that specialty slice. It's usually great. Now, I had mentioned our next stop is going to be at Pizzafari, which is just around the corner from Terra Treats. So I've made my way over here, and I believe this is going to be our first cardboard pizza of the day. Now, this is not a place that I would ever recommend you eat at in Animal Kingdom, unless, of course, you like the taste of cardboard. But since it's called Pizzafari, I figured it had to be included in one of our 10 pizzas. Just looking at this $11.29 pizza, I am sure you know why I'm calling it cardboard. Let's just go for it. Now let's just be clear. It is bread, sauce, and cheese. It's not ever going to taste awful. I mean, I guess there are probably some awful pizzas, but this just tastes like your typical frozen pizza or Chuck E. Cheese or Pizza Hut kind of deal, probably DiGiorno's, and I would definitely never get this pizza, especially when there's an amazing slice of pizza literally a couple steps away. So as a whole, is it absolutely awful? No. But is it good? Also no. There is one other pizza that's going to be on our list that is the exact same as this. However, it's served by a rat, so it naturally tastes a little bit better. A pizza tour of Walt Disney World would not be complete without a stop in Hollywood Studios for Pizzerizzo. This is a pizza restaurant that everybody loves to hate, but also hates to love. And yes, while I will admit this pizza is probably nothing special, it is very hard to resist some rat pizza. Who doesn't love the Muppets? Let's grab a slice here. It looked like it was gonna give me a bit of a cheese pull, but I guess not. Rat pizza, let's go for it. You know, there is no denying that this tastes and smells like Chuck E. Cheese pizza. I like to call this crust thick crust cardboard because it definitely does have a little bit of a cardboard flavor. The sauce is sweet enough. There is plenty of cheese on this. It's that kind of pizza that you like hate that you love. Like, would I ever go out of my way to order this in Hollywood Studios? Well, maybe, because the food in Hollywood Studios is pretty garbage, but it's definitely not great. But I imagine after a couple of drinks, this would probably be the kind of pizza you would want. And who knows, Pizzerizzo may not be around for much longer with the recent D23 announcements, so come get your rat pizza while you still can. Our final stop of the day brings us to the Riviera Resort, where we are here to try a pizza from their quick service restaurant, Primo Piatto, which I must say is probably one of the best resort quick service restaurants on all of Disney property. Here we've got their margarita pizza. This is a fresh artisan hearth-baked pizza topped with tomato sauce, heirloom tomatoes, and fresh mozzarella, finished with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and fresh cut basil for $13.29. Let's go for a bite here. I really appreciate the crispness of this crust, and it's also very fresh tasting with the fresh tomatoes on there. Now, this is a margarita pizza. I know I've been ordering like traditional cheese pizzas, and I do prefer a traditional cheese pizza to a margarita pizza, mainly because I love mozzarella cheese and really any type of cheese. And I always feel like with margarita pizzas, there's just not enough cheese for my personal preference. I know that's kind of how a margarita pizza works, but it is very fresh tasting and, like I said, very, very crisp. Another thing that I really like about this pizza is how well done they let the crust get. You can see in that coal oven, they've kind of allowed it to get a little well done and a little bit burnt there, but that is exactly how I like a pizza of this style. Via Napoli, take notes. This is how you make a crisp, absolutely no flop margarita pizza. The pizza here from Primo Piatto is just all around very, very fresh, and I would hope so because it literally took, I want to say, 15 minutes from when I hit I'm here on my mobile order for it to be ready. But hey, I guess that's a good sign. It's better than the food being ready right away because you know it is being baked very, very fresh, and you can tell in the taste. Well, we have officially completed the challenge. 10 slices of pizza here at Disney World down, and I don't think I want to look at a pizza for like at least another week. The official ranking of all of the pizzas that I tried in Disney World are listed right here. 1 through 10, of course, number 1 being the best. Now, of course, there is even more pizza in Disney World than what I showed you today. So let me know in the comments if I missed your favorite pizza, and who knows, maybe I'll get to it next time. As always, I want to give a shout out to my Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys for always supporting the channel. If you guys would like to join my Patreon, the link to do so is going to be just down below in the description. But thank you guys for hanging with me and eating all of this pizza. I shall see you guys next time. Bye.